Good day everyone! We are the Group 3 and we are here to present the another theory which is the social exchange theory. But before we go deeper, let me first introduce to you my co-reporters. So the first reporter is yours truly, Roqueza Campo, discussing the topic about introduction to social exchange theory in social work and also defining what is social exchange theory. The next reporter we have Althea May Cajes, who will discuss the topic about history of social exchange theory. The third reporter we have Stefa May Cajes, who will discuss the topic about assumptions and applications of social exchange theory. And lastly, the fourth reporter we have Rupa May Cañeda, who will discuss the topic about how does social exchange theory apply to social work and also the criticism of social exchange theory. So, let us now proceed to the discussion. So, again, I am Roqueza P. Campo and now I will be discussing the topic of Introduction to Social Exchange Theory and its definition. Introduction to Social Exchange Theory in Social Work. As we all know, social workers often work with clients from different circumstances in life who have a variety of needs. As a result, they must be aware or understand the various theories concerning with human behavior and interaction. Rational choice theory, for example, defined that people employ rational calculations to make rational decisions and attain outcomes that are in line with their own personal goals. So in relation, social exchange theory, which is founded on the idea that a relationship between two individuals is formed through a process of cost and benefits analysis. So the theories that I have been mentioned earlier will help the social workers in improving a client's personal relationship and views in life. However, we will only focus on one theory, which is the social exchange theory. What exactly is social exchange theory? Social exchange theory states that people make decisions by consciously or unconsciously weighing the costs and benefits of a relationship with the goal of maximizing the reward. The measurement of a relationship pluses and minuses may yield data that can be used to identify whether someone is putting too much into a relationship. So what are the costs and benefits? The cost or the negative outcomes represent the resources required to continue the relationship, as well as the individual's loss. It entails putting up with suffering, putting up time, effort, money, and missing out on opportunities as a result of investing in a relationship over another. While the benefits or the positive outcomes are the rewards that come from being involved in a relationship and can include pleasurable outcomes such as friendship, camaraderie, achievement, respect, opportunity, love, caring, support, and etc. So according also to this theory, people are more prone to end or stop the relationship when the cost outweighs the benefits. However, if a relationship gives enough benefits, then they will stay in it. So, to help us understand it better, I will give an example. So, our example is, Sarah and Lenny are best friends. However, Lenny is continuously borrowing money from Sarah and not giving enough time to their friendship. Therefore, this may be considered as a high cost. Lenny may be a bit of a freeloader, but she provides Sarah a lot of joy and excitement, as well as constant support for the things that she enjoys. Sarah may conclude that the benefits or rewards of the friendship outweigh the possible cost while assessing its worth. So rather than ending their friendship, Sarah chose to remain and value it. So my example is very understandable. So ang cost dito is katong lack of time, katong walay enough time si Lenny for Sarah and also nagahulan pud siya og kwarta. But even though na inato, Lenny still brings a lot of happiness and excitement to Sarah's life. And also, nagasupport po siya, nagahatag po siya og kanang support sa mga bagay nga gusto ni Sarah. So, therefore, kay ginavalue man ni Sarah ang kanang friendship nila, murag kanang na-maximize ang benefit rather than katong sa cost. So, gi-choose ni Sarah na magstay sa ilang friendship rather than ending it. So I hope na you learned something about my report. And now let us proceed to the next topic, which is the history of social exchange theory.
Hi guys, I am Althea Macy Cajes, and today I will be discussing the history of social exchange theory, which is the study of social behavior. It is developed by George Homans, a sociologist. It is first appeared in his essay Social Behavior as Exchange in 1958. He also believes that it is necessary to look at an individual's behavior first instead of the social structures individual created. George Homans developed a framework of elements of social behavior. First, interaction, second, sentiments, and the third one is activities. He used this framework to study several groups. A study he published in The Human Group, which is his first book. He believed that any society, community, or group was best seen as a social system. Later, Homans began to explain further the most basic level of social situations called elementary social behavior. It explains the interaction of at least two persons, with one either rewarding or punishing the actions of the other. This idea adopts B.F. Skinner's behavioral psychological theories about human behavior, as well as basic principles of economics. Every person provides rewards and costs, like what Homans suggested about several propositions that theorize social behavior as an exchange of material and non-material goods, like time, money, effort, approval, prestige, and power. People expect to receive as much as reward as they give to another and will choose actions that are likely to provide the greatest reward. Homans is not the only person to develop social exchange theory. We also have Peter Michael Blau, a sociologist, but unlike Homans, Blau focused his theory on concepts such as preferences, interests, indifference curves, and supply and demand. More modern takes on social exchange theory borrow from both men and particularly focus on power dynamics. With that, different theories use various concepts and assumptions for their particular applications.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Cajes from Group 3, and today, since we've already heard about what is social exchange theory as well as its history, so on my part, I'm gonna discuss about its assumptions and applications. First assumption. Social behaviors involve social exchanges of value. In this assumption, since we are all part of the community, so of course, we need to interact with other people, coordinate, cooperate with them. And the way we handle ourselves or react with them, that involves exchanging of value. Value that I mean refers to those things that have a sentimental value for you or important for you, such as your time, your effort, your feelings, your thoughts, and everything. Second assumption. People are motivated to retain some value or the reward when they have to give something up. So, for me, I think this assumption is what we people mostly do, which is to choose to keep some value on ourselves, especially when it demands us to give up something in return. The third assumption, people pursue social exchanges where they receive more rewards than their costs. So, this third assumption is the opposite of the preceding assumption that I've mentioned, because in this part, the person can easily engage in the social exchanging of value as long as he or she can get more than what he gave during the exchanging value process. The fourth assumption, rewards and cost can be material and immaterial goods in social exchange theory, which means that during the process, exchanging process of value, the person can get or give immaterial or material things. Or in other term, tangible or intangible value. The fifth assumption, and I think some of us here can relate to this, which is people will terminate relationships when they believe the cost to be greater than the rewards, which means that it is easy to a person to end or stop the relationship, any kinds of relationship, whether friends, lovers, etc. If it didn't bring her any more good, or if what he give is much more greater than what he get while being in that relationship. The sixth assumption, which is people expect to be rewarded similarly when they incur the same cost. So from the word mentioned on the phrase similarly, which means the same. So the person expect to receive or gain the same level of intensity, the same level of quality of what he gave to that certain person. So in other ways, if I give 100%, then I will expect to get 100% also from that certain person. The seventh assumption, which is when measuring reward versus cost, people compare to their expectations, previous experiences, or alternatives, which means that the basis for their decisions are their expectations, previous experiences, or alternatives. That's why we have this phrase in Bisaya na that says, nag-expect man gud ko nga mo na iyang gihatag kay mo pa ba akong gihatag. So, di ba, kanang mga common lang yan siya na mga phrase, but it has a connection regarding the social exchange theory. Because of our expectation, because of our past experiences, past events, we compare we measure the reward versus cost based on those things, our experiences or expectations, as well as alternatives that we think is possible. The last but not the least assumption regarding the social exchange theory, which is people understand that enough rewards versus cost differ from relationship to relationship within the same relationship over time, which means that in every relationship that we have, we cannot set the same boundaries with different individuals because we believe that every person is different. So we need to set boundaries based on the relationship that we have with a certain person. You need to set those things that you are just allowed to give or get from that certain individual and the other one, because they are not the same, and your relationship with those person is not the same at all. So we are already done on discussing those assumptions regarding the social exchange theory. So by this time, let's move on knowing where we can apply social exchange theory. I will mention those examples written in the module in which we can apply this theory, which is a social exchange theory, which are in romantic relationship, friendship, workplace behavior, organizational management, business decisions, social power, leadership, politics, consumer purchasing decisions, or even in television viewing decisions. So, which means that from those examples, it just means that we can apply social exchange theory in our daily activities, whether in personal matters or even unexpected happenings in a day. And to better know where we can apply this theory in our profession, which is the social work. So let's go further. Social worker must understand that every person looking for reward within a relationship. It is normal for a person, even us, to look or to focus on the positive outcome that we can get before totally engaging with a person or having a definite decision. That is why in any social work practices, we should ensure that our client will have something to get from us after the assessment, after the counseling or whatsoever, because it is our duty to give them what they need, and that is an example of reward also. Thus, as social worker, we help our clients to improve their personal relationship, because that has that has a relation on this theory, social exchange theory. It involves relationship, building a positive relationship with other person or in any relationship that we have, because as a social worker or aspiring social worker, we need to understand that our clients needs help. They needs our help, especially in building a positive relationship with their personal matters. So such for example, with their parents, siblings, husband, friends, wife, and etc. On the social work side also, in social exchange theory, it can help us to learn something or to get something from our clients. It could be ideas, knowledge, or like what I've mentioned on the assumption side, it could be in a form of material or immaterial goods. Material goods, for example, tangible. Immaterial goods, untangible, like what I've said, thoughts, ideas, knowledge. And because while having an interaction with them, we can identify some intrinsic rewards that we can get from our clients. Intrinsic rewards means rather true, genuine, yung totoo, because we can detect or we can observe from how they interact, how they speak with us, speak to us. Okay, so that is why social exchange theory is very important for in any social work practices, especially for us to practice this one, to know this one, and where we can apply and how we can apply, of course, social exchange theory.
Again, I am Rupami Roderos Cañeda. Since my groupmate already discussed what is social exchange theory, the history of social exchange theory, the assumption and application of social exchange theory. And now, I will discuss how the social exchange theory apply to social work. So, ang kaninga theory kay pwede ni siya gamiton sa mga social work, which is to assist their clients to repeat the positive encounters and behavior. So, the social worker can use the social exchange theory to better understand their clients' interaction. So, ang workers ani makagain siya og motivation to continue working by identifying the intrinsic reward they receive from the assisting their clients. The first that recognize of social work is everyone or every person looking for reward within a relationship with the social workers than negative outcomes. If they want the benefit they receive to greater than the cost, so the social workers can create interaction in which ang client makareceive siya og some benefits, which is someone is rewarded for doing something, they are more likely to do it again. But when a person receives the same award again, however, it loses its effectiveness. The social worker can help the clients to examine their behavior more closely, including whether pursue or abandon relationship. They can talk to their clients about how and why they choose to interact with others, which is the social workers work with clients to help them to strengthen personal relationship, such as those between in couples or parents and children, others relatives, friends, or co-workers. So, how social exchange theory apply in the relationship? So, which is ang social exchange theory is people tend to make a comparison. So, they compare their relationship to their expectations. So, previous similar relationships and alternative relationships. So, the point of the comparison is to help a person decide when they're receiving enough of a net benefit. But if ang someone daw doesn't have healthy relationship to compare to, they might continue to pursue unhealthy or unsafe relations. So, ang social workers na pud ani matabangan ang client, which is to navigate their expectation and comparison in search of safe, healthy, and happy relationship. The next that I will discuss is all about the criticism of social exchange theory. The social exchange theory have a several limitation or weaknesses associated na ang theory can seem overly simplistic, so which is the relationship can be complicated in terms of what people get out of them against what they cost them. So while the theory helps someone take a comprehensive look at the relationship, but there are many other things to consider while deciding whether or not to stay in it. It makes no mention of selflessness or altruism. So there are times when people will act in a way that assists others at great cost of themselves without expecting anything in return. So according to social exchange theory, people act in a specific ways to create trust and intimacy. So this notion is most commonly associated with romantic relationship, but these goals are not shared by all relationships.